What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here, and today I'm bringing you a Hall of Magic B10 team that is 100% success rate in under a minute. The record time with this team is like, I don't know, 45 seconds or something. You'll see at the end of the match what it is. And then the average time is anywhere from 50 seconds to a minute. So this is a sub 1 minute team or an under 1 minute team, whichever word you like more, sub or under. Um, and it is not at all farmable. Sig is farmable, and the rest of them are not at all farmable. They're all not fours though, and they're all not fours that anyone who summons is going to keep. So, I mean, odds are that all of you watching this video will have, at least some of these guys, or, maybe all of them. I don't know, it just depends on your luck, or your not luck, I guess. So, you can, it's not insane to see what this team does. I'll show you the runes after this run. They're not at all insane. If you guys have seen any of my videos before, you'll know that my runes are none of my guys have like insane runes. I'm not that amazing. I've never once finished in Conqueror yet. I'm still working on that. And so there you go, it's a 58-second run, and like I said, 45 seconds is the best this team has done. It's just, how fast it goes is RNG, really. And so, I can definitely show you guys, well, I said I'd show you the runes first, so I'll show you the runes and then I'll just show you another run. So here's my Verd. Geez, I don't know if I should go over each individual rune or if just the stats are good enough. I'll just go over each individual rune. If you want me to show, I'll just go over the stats. Pause it at any time if you want to, see the stats for longer. But these stats have been up for a while. But tell me in the comments if you want me to make another video just to show you guys the individual runes. I think it doesn't really matter that much what the individual runes are. It's more the stats. This is my Hua. My Hua is not great. It doesn't have enough crit damage to really do a lot of damage. But it's what I got. And here's my Lucian. My Lucian has my best damage runes on it. So there's the Lucian. And then my Sig. There's my Sig. And my Galleon. There's my Galleon. And you can also, if you want to see the skill ups, you can see all the skill ups on all these guys on the previous, just rewind it. And so now, well, I'll just show you it with that Hua again. Let me make sure that was the right Hua though. Yeah, and so I use the Verd leader skill. Your other options for leader skills would be the Sig one, which I don't really recommend. The Hua one, which if you need it, then you need it. And the Lucian one, which works, but to make it 100% success, I noticed that the speed leader skill really does make it 100% success. To make it faster and less consistent, you can use the Lucian leader skill and another nuker, which would make it faster but not as consistent from my experience. Like I said, I don't think this team has ever failed, and I've ran it, I don't know how many times. I've been using this team for like 4 or 5 months in Magic B10, and so I don't consistently farm this. But when I need magic essences, I come to Magic B10. So in the last 4 or 5 months, I don't know, I've definitely done well over 100 or 200 or so runs. I have no clue how many I've done, but enough to say that this is 100% and it's not failed. And the only way I can imagine it failing is if you didn't target the boss, like if you wanted to target one of the crystals first, because there's no healers, so once you're dead, you're dead. And then, or like once you lose health and you can't get it back. So, yeah, this is the team. I can show you guys a couple alternative monsters you could use to keep this under a minute. And I know under a minute for Magic B10, if nothing insane, is people have under a minute Necro, under a minute Dragons, under a minute Giants. I don't. Here's a minute and 6 seconds, so that one was not under 1 minute runs. And instead of Hua, your alternatives, sure, I'll just run it with Susanoo, why not? Susanoo might actually make it faster. Well, I can almost guarantee he would make it faster in terms of a consistent thing, but Hua makes it safer because Hua, I'm sure you guys never pass it, but it resets the boss's attack bar and gives him slow, so the boss isn't going to attack very often, whereas when you put Susanoo in, he does actually decrease the attack bar, but not nearly as much as Hua does, and it doesn't have the speed debuff, but he does a lot more damage, so you can kind of play around with that. The reason this team works as fast as it does, I will say, you probably need Galleon for this, because the first two stages, like basically the way to get under a minute for Hall of Magic is you need to be able to clear the first two stages quick, which means you need AoE, and you need to kill the boss quick, which means you need strong single target. And I mean, you could just use AoE for the boss, but single target will generally do more damage, and that's where Susanoo comes into play, is he has a strong single target nuke on the second skill on a really low cooldown, so he can use it all the time. And there's 58 seconds. And so the way that I fulfill that with this team, let me just see if there's another guy. Okay, my Theomars has very bad runes. He does not do very much damage, but I'll just show you my Theomars anyways, just because all of you guys are going to have Theomars. And the way that this team works is Verd's going to go first, and then Galleon, and then Sig. Well, normally it's Hua, but so it's Hua, Sig, Lucian. It's not the ideal speed syncing. Ideal speed syncing would be Galleon, and then Lucian, and then Sig, then Hua, then Verd. And the reason I say Verd last is because when you have Verd last, he gives your whole team 40% attack bar instead of 20% or 10% or 30%. You get the full 40, so it's just maximizing your value of Verd. And then you can afford to make your Verd a attack Verd, and because this is speed crit rate HP Verd, it's not an attack Verd. And so the basic way this team runs is Galleon is the ideal run, which is what I just told you the speed sync for, which is not the speed syncing I have, but it's the ideal speed sync, is Galleon will do his time to loot, Lucian one-shots the stage, then you go to the second stage, Galleon will do whatever first or second skill, Lucian will surprise box, Sig will use his AoE, and then everyone should be either dead or close to dead depending on how much damage you do. It's not the same. It depends. You could use Spectra in here if you have Spectra and you don't have another damage dealer. It's not going to be nearly as fast. It's not under a minute with Spectra, but I'll show you it anyways, just because I'm still talking, and so I might as well show you something new. But, so by the second stage, you hopefully will be done after the two AoEs. If you're not, everyone should just be one hit away. And then the third stage, Galleon gets his time to loot up again, and then you just go in with your single target damage. That's why I really do think it is important to get under a minute to have at least one strong single target damage. And then if you have all damage, then you will lose sometime. Like before I got a Verd, because I didn't get a Verd until like 4 months ago. Whenever I made this team is the day I got Verd, made this team. Well, maybe not the day, but whatever. 5 days after, as soon as I built my Verd, because right when I got my Verd, I started trying to build him. But before I did that, I did Galleon, Sig, Lucian, double Hua, which was fast, not insanely fast, but it was not nearly successful as I wanted it to be. It was like 85% or something. But so Verd really makes it so this team is gonna be 100%. The team was still a minute, even with Spectra. So hey, who knows? That might actually be a good option to put Spectra in there. And because I showed the runes of my other guys, I'll just show you the runes, the stats at least. There's my Spectra. Very bad crit damage, but it still did like 33,000 to the boss, if I remember. Here's my Susanoo. I have no clue how much Susanoo did to the boss. I didn't keep track. And then, what else did I use? I showed you my Hua. And this was the Theomars that I used, which I already showed you, but it doesn't hurt to show it again. But so, that's the team and the basic way that it works. If your team is failing to get under a minute or failing to do it consistently, then that means that you either don't have enough damage or you need to try a more support kind of team Now, if you just use Galleon and 4 nukers that don't do anything but damage, like you like whatever, Galleon and I don't know, 4/6, 4 Lucians, 4 this, 4 that, the team isn't going to win unless you have a lot of damage. Like, this team isn't for a super early game. You know, you could do it at mid game. I still consider myself mid game, and it works. But to do teams with no healers, the basic thing of it is you have to kill the boss quicker than he can kill you. And when you're using all damage dealers, you're not going to have a whole lot of, you know, heals and defense buff and all. Like, this team has nothing to help me stay alive longer, other than the speed debuff from Spectra, attack debuff from Sig that lands occasionally, and the attack bar decrease. But so that's why when I go back to the original team, the reason this works with 100% is because I can do good damage to the boss. I'm going to get a lot of turns because of my leader skill and because of Verd. The boss isn't going to get a lot of turns because of Hua. It's gonna, when it does get turns, it hopefully will have an attack debuff. It won't always, because Sig doesn't. I don't have accuracy on Sig. And then I'll be able to kill it quick. My Lucians will throw out, or my one Lucian will throw out a debuff on the boss every there and then. And then my Galleon will do a little bit of attack edge decrease. But so if you're not completing this in under a minute or successfully, it means you don't have enough damage to be able to do this, and you need to go back and get more damage runes. Or it means you need to make it more support, which means, you know, if maybe you need to add the Spectra in there to do the AoE speed debuff, or maybe you know, you might need the Hua. Maybe you actually do need the Vert, because, you know, none of these guys are absolute necessities, just what I use. You know, maybe you need like Darien or something on an HP crit damage HP build, or whatever. Now, one thing I do recommend is, my first thought when I was trying to do this is I was like, okay, well, if I only need one support, then I'll do like Vero or Kona to cleanse the heal recovery. And it didn't take very long for me to realize that there's no point in cleansing the heal block if there's no healer. So I'm sure I'm sure most of you guys could make that connection. But whatever, the first day I tried this, I didn't make that connection the first minute. I don't know, it took me a minute or two before I realized that it's pointless. But so, you know, like in teams like this, Vero does nothing for you. Kona does nothing for you. So this is the team. If anything was unclear or you have questions, be sure to tell me in the comments, as well as if you have an under 1 minute anything team, any B10 team, be sure to tell me in the comments. Or if you want to see an under 1 minute any B10 team, tell me in the comments. I can do under 1 minute for everything but Hall of Water, Dragons, Giants, Necro. So whatever, I can do the other 4 elements. So light, dark, fire, wind. I can get under a minute. So if you want to see any of those, tell me in the comments. I'll be happy to make one of those soon. That's all I have for today, though, guys. So may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows.